Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So there was a request for an English version of episode 39. That is tips for good health through spirituality. So I thought I'll make a video on that. So before I go ahead, I wanted to give this message. So whatever I'm going to share in this session is purely based on my own experiences. So you need to do the research before you apply it in your own lives. And some may not be applicable to everyone. So let me go ahead. So if you see, the root cause for all diseases comes from the mind. If the mind is kept healthy, the body is healthy too. So that is the secret. If you see in Yoga Shastra, what they say is the energy blocks in the subtle body is what that leads to diseases in the physical body. So the prana shakti has to flow smoothly in the subtle body. So when there is a block in that movement, that is what causes diseases in the physical body. So what is the reason for this energy blocks? So there are many reasons. Some might be due to lifestyle, some habits, stress, life events, but mainly the cause in this age is stress. So if we see from a spiritual perspective, what can be done to alleviate these problems? One thing is Shravanam. I've already said many times, Shravanam is a simple practice to bring about peace. Basically, when we keep ourselves in peace, that can bring about well-being in us. So Shravanam is a great healer. It can heal our mind. Shravanam and Japa, it can break down that pattern of negative thinking. It can dramatically have an impact on our mind. Actually, some people had sent me messages saying that we have depression, our kids have ADHD and many other names. So what I felt is these terms are just some names given by the medical world, and we should not get too carried away by these names. See, when we give importance to those terms, then we are weakening. We are being weakened by those terms. So we should not let those terms drain our energies. We have to face it. So what? Let them give names. We can overcome. We have the power to overcome and come out of that, whatever the so-called names that have been given. So and most important thing is Shravanam and Japa have to be practiced every day. It has to be taken like medicine. It will really change our lives. I used to do it every single day when I was working. It really helped me. So we need to keep that in mind, that Japa and Shravanam, they can do wonders in our life. So the next thing is food intake. One thing to remember is before taking any food, we have to offer it to the Lord by chanting the name. We can chant our name of our Ishtadevata, or we can say Krishnārpaṇaṁ, or we can even chant the brahmāpāṇaṁ slokam. The Lord himself has mentioned this in the Gita, the brahmāpāṇaṁ slokam. Brahmārpaṇaṁ brahmavihi brahmagnau brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyaṁ brahma-karma-samādhinā. So when we offer it to the Lord, it is purified, it becomes prasad. So whatever impurities, unseen impurities that was there in the food is removed, and that is the first step that we can do. So when that food is cleansed, it is for sure going to do good to our body. We all know that digestion happens through the acids in the stomach, the hydrochloric acid. In the Gita, Bhagavan himself has mentioned that I am that vaiśhvānaro bhūtvā. He says, I am that Agni who's doing the digestion. This is how the sloka goes. Ahaṁ vaiśhvānaro bhūtvā prāṇināṁ deham āśhritaḥ prāṇāpāna-samāyuktaḥ chatur-vidham pachāmy annaṁ chatur-vidham. So he says that I am the Agni who's doing the digestion. So when we are taking the food, we should remember, we should visualize this, that it is the Lord to whom we are offering. We chant the name and offer it to that Agni. And then everything is taken care. We don't have to think about anything. We don't have to worry about anything about our health. The Lord will take care of everything. So actually, in this context, I wanted to tell a story. The story is about a Mahatma who lived like a few hundred years ago. Satsang was going, Ekadesi Satsang was going, and everybody felt little parched. Their throat felt parched. And so the Mahatma asked one of the devotees to go and get jaggery. So the devotee goes to a shop and asks for jaggery from the shopkeeper. But it was closing time and it was little dark. So in a hurry, the shopkeeper finds the jaggery and hands it over to the devotee. The devotee gets it back to the Mahatma and he offers it to Lord Narasimha, and he gives it to all the devotees and he too consumes it. But only later they realized that actually it was not jaggery, but it was a poisonous bait that is used in mouse traps. So such is the power of the nama. It can just neutralize anything, even poison. And so when we chant, we can remove all those impurities, the toxins, whatever is unseen, everything can be removed from the food. So that is the power of chanting the nama. So the next thing I wanted to say is, as much as possible, we should try to avoid eating outside food. I know many people are aware of that because it affects our mind. It's not about the hygiene alone. We don't know who is preparing it and what is the state of the mind when they are preparing it, because their thoughts can penetrate into the food and it can be transmitted to the person who consumes it. So we have to be very careful and we should try to make as much as possible at home. We can make all those, the South Indian podis, the powders, the sambar powder, and all other powder, batter, ghee, as much as possible at home, and we can chant and do. The beauty is when we cook and do anything, we can chant the nama. So when we chant, the power of the nama penetrates into the food, and it is not only beneficial for us, it is also beneficial for our family. Our entire family will reap the benefits of that nama. So we should remember that. So as much as possible, we should avoid. I wanted to share this incident that I heard in a satsang. A guru was sitting for meditation, but on that particular day he was finding it hard to reach that stillness because some news related thoughts kept coming. So he was wondering, where is it coming from? So he thought maybe was something to do with the food. Maybe he understood that there was something to do with the food. So the next day he goes to the kitchen to see what's happening. So there he finds the cook stirring the pot in one hand and reading the newspaper on the other hand. So he understood. So this was the reason that he got the news related thoughts. So that is how the thoughts work. They can really affect us. And even they say that very important thing is we should not watch TV while eating, because that can also get into those news and whatever, all those negative content can get into our food, and it can affect us at some point in our lives. So we should remember that. So the next I wanted to talk is about the importance of ghee. Ghee is actually some time back ghee was condemned. They had said that it is a cause for cholesterol, and many people had stopped eating ghee. If you ask me personally, I love ghee. I was not a fan of other dairy products, so ghee was part of my daily diet. And ghee has been used in Ayurveda too. They use medicated ghee to detox the body. That is how they detox the body, because that is the power of ghee. Another important thing I want to say is we should have our meals only when we are hungry. We should not go by the clock, because I've seen many people, they go by the clock. If we are not hungry, we should not have our food, especially at night. As much as possible, we should try to have it very light or just have fruits, because after sunset, the body is not functioning at its best, because our prana shakti comes from the sun. So, so digestion slows down. So we should remember that. Yoga Nidra. I have mentioned Yoga Nidra many times in my videos. I have practiced it for many years. It has healed my body. Many times it has helped me, and it is a simple relaxation technique that can be used by anyone, and anyone can do it. It's simple to do. So that is the beauty, and it is. I've also heard that it can reduce high blood pressure. Next is walk. Everyone, I know most of us go for regular walks. So, and it should be done without the cell phone, because many people hold their phone in front when they walk, I've seen. So that should be avoided. The mind and body should be in sync for reaping the benefits of walking. So that we should remember. And there are miracle herbs in our own kitchen. I have used like methi seeds, ajwan, and jeera. I make a kashayam, that is a concoction. I make it regularly. It is very refreshing, and it helps me. So so we have all the herbs needed for healing the body in the kitchen itself. In those days, they used to use that. The last thing that I wanted to talk is Ekadashi Vrit, the importance of Ekadashi Vrit. So Ekadashi Vrit should be followed by everyone. It's not just meant for the Vaishnavas alone. So I first wanted to talk about the spiritual significance. We all know about it. Because Ekadasi, a seeker who desires moksha has to follow Ekadasi. We all know that Lord Narayana is pleased when we do Ekadashi Vrit, and he bestows moksha on us. So, and Srirangam is very famous for the Vaikuntha Ekadasi. There is a 21-day festival, utsav that happens during Vaikuntha Ekadasi, and Srirangam is called the Bhuloka Vaikuntha, the Vaikuntha on earth. So, so that is a spiritual significance of Ekadasi, and we are supposed to fast. There are many rules for fasting. Actually you should not even have water. That is the best Ekadasi fasting, but in this age, not everyone can do that. So whatever minimum that we can take to keep the body from becoming tired. So let me come to the biological significance of Ekadashi. So there have been many findings on the DNA strands. One of the findings is the DNA strands have casing at the end. It is called telomere. So this the health of the telomere only determines how long we are going to live, the aging rate, and our health. All this is determined by the health of that telomere. So what affects the telomere and how to keep it healthy? A healthy lifestyle, a good balanced food, and exercise, devoid of stress, all this matters. So that is how that was a finding, and one of the outcome was intermittent fasting. So the youngsters are all very familiar with it. I know it is very popular these days. So, but the scientists they were not aware of Ekadashi. Ekadashi comes every 2 weeks, and fasting in every 2 weeks itself is intermittent fasting. So that we should remember this. The next is the astronomical significance. If we see our Panchang, how have they calculated, how the calculations have been done? It is all based on the movements of the sun and the moon with respect to each other. See, the movement creates motion. Movement actually when they are in motion, it creates energy. We all know it creates kinetic energy. So the energies interact and they come to earth and impact us in some way. And from Amavasya to Purnima, the energy keeps changing. Because the placements, the moon keeps moving, the placements based on the placement of the moon with respect to the sun, the energy changes. From Ashtami, especially from Ashtami to Dwadasi, there is intense energy. The sun's activity is heightened. This is not my theory. This has been supported by the agencies in the US, the NASA and the NOAA. NASA, everyone knows, very familiar. NOAA is the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Agency. So they upload daily data, space weather reports, and there are many geophysicists that do videos on YouTube. I've listened to it on space weather, about the solar flares, solar storms. All these are very intense during that period from Ashtami to Dwadasi. Many people observe Vrat on Ashtami because the energy intense. So we can use that energy. Only when we fast we can use. That is very important, because we cannot, nobody recommends, our rishis have not recommended fasting on random days, specific dates, because it's all the energy. So when these energies come, it will benefit us. It is for our own well-being. It will. So we have to utilize those energies. So how do we utilize? By observing fast. See, when these energies come, they affect the 5 elements, external elements. So those 5 elements, the Prakriti, the water, fire, air, earth and ether. So they are there within the body itself. So on Ekadasi, the energy that comes is as a detoxifying effect. When the detox happens, our body has to be kept in alignment. We have to be receptive to those energy. So how do we do it is by fasting. Even if we cannot do full-fledged fasting, we can at least keep it very light, bare minimum we can. And keep the body and mind in alignment. Do some spiritual practices. We can do more japa so that we are focused, we are receptive to those energies. We absorb it and those energies will be beneficial for our mind, both spiritual, it will bring about spiritual upliftment and also bring good health. So it can act in 2 ways. So this secret our rishis knew. They all knew about this. So that is the reason they kept emphasizing the importance of Ekadasi, to do fasting on Ekadasi. So we should remember the importance that it is for our welfare. So hope this was helpful. Thanks for listening. And with this I conclude this session. Hare Krishna.